going today? Good, I'm glad you're having fun because I'm about to ruin your night. Just remember, you were having fun before, so that's what matters here. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was looking at my computer and a little message popped up on the screen and it said, "We've detected a problem." And I said, "You're going to have to be a little bit more specific. I have many problems." Are you talking about my problems with ADD, anxiety, depression, insomnia, bipolar? You have to be a little bit more specific here. And then essentially the message sort of transformed and it got a little bit of an attitude with me and said, "No, jackass, I'm talking about your communication problems." I said, "Okay, I admit I do have problems talking with others. Or are you talking about my problems talking to myself, about myself, behind my own back and finding out later from myself?" And we have to be specific about these things here. Working in retail is really, really boring, as we all know. I remember when I worked at GameStop a couple years ago, and it was just a normal Tuesday afternoon. Really nobody else was in the store. I was just tending at the register doing what people do in retail. And a man walks in and he looks a little suspicious. He's got his trench coat. He's kind of coming towards me. And I'm trying to approach him and say hi, because that's what you're supposed to do. And he comes up to me, and as I'm about to come up and say hi to him, he reaches in his pocket, or he makes it, wow. Sorry about that, folks. My brain went over there. I'll come back here momentarily. Essentially, he starts to make a swift, violent movement towards his left pocket. And as he does this, I remember I start thinking to myself, not me! Why today? GameStop does not pay you enough to get shot. Come to think of it, nobody pays you enough to get shot. And as he's making these movements, and I've made peace with my imminent demise, he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out a cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, ladies and gentlemen, with absolutely no wrapper. No topping whatsoever. I'm looking at the cheeseburger and I'm seeing a little closer look. He's got dog hair and pocket lint all over this cheeseburger. Just pulls it right out of his pocket. There's also a gum wrapper stuck to the side of the cheeseburger, so I guess in a sense it does have a wrapper. And then I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with this guy. I was going to say hi to him, and I cannot process what's going on. And then he just starts eating the cheeseburger like nothing's going on. And my thoughts start to change. First, I'm disgusted by this man, and now I'm just curious. I'm getting a little hungry. Does he have another one that he can share with me? Because, I'm a little famished myself. Sure enough, he did not have a cheeseburger that he was willing to share, so I just told him he had to leave. He had to go. If he wasn't going to share his food, he had to leave and move on. I have a myriad of difficulties in real life with mental and physical disabilities that are pretty much perfect to tell about on stage. I have some memory problems, and there's some cons to that. Like if I cook food and I go and watch TV and then I realize I'm hungry and go back to make some more food only to find the food still in the microwave that I never ate. Sometimes you want that other meal, but at the same time, anywhere I go to a new place, even if I was there yesterday, it's still new to me. It's all new, as it first comes out. As she was saying before, my name is George Spears. I'm not saying that to refresh your memory, but my own. But I remember when I was a kid, I was sneaking downstairs to get some cookies or something. My mom and dad were watching something on TV. I wasn't entirely sure what it was. All of a sudden I hear, "Hey, Georgie, come here." And I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I guess maybe my dad's making some kind of weird voice, so I better go in the living room and see what's going on. And I see this weird clown-looking thing in a sewer talking to this kid in a trench coat. He's like, "Hey, Georgie, would you like a balloon? Would you like a balloon, Georgie?" He's like, "My mom told me not to talk to strangers." Except he wasn't British or an older man, so I don't know how that happened. But, and then Pennywise says, "But I'm not a stranger, Georgie. I'm Pennywise and you're Georgie." And so that's why I've been terrified of clowns my whole life. And I was terrified of going to a sewer in any way, shape, or form for, we'll say 4 years, but it's really more like 15. We'll just pretend it's 4. I've gotten over that fear recently, but if I was walking past a sewer at some point and my wallet just happened to fall in the sewer, that's Pennywise's now. I don't really need that wallet. I can go and get another one somewhere else. It's not that big a deal to me. Not that important. But as as I start thinking of this, throughout the years, as much as I was scared of Pennywise, when I saw the new It movie, the new remake, I realized there was another side of this story. Forget that it's a stranger he's talking to. How about don't talk to a weird clown-shaped creature in a sewer? I guess his parents weren't specific enough. Maybe we need to do a better job of, just going out of our way and giving our kids better instructions on how not to talk to strangers. There's some strangers that are more dangerous than others. I don't know, for instance, if you receive a strange videotape in the mail that says you need to watch this, you don't have to watch this. It's more of a suggestion. There's plenty of spam that we get in the world. There's nothing that really says, oh yeah, I have to watch this right now. You get the chain letter, little Susie was murdered in her bed last night, and if you don't pass this on to 50 people, you'll be murdered too. Or just, I feel bad for little Susie, but it's not like I knew her or anything, so, that's her problem, right? I'm not going to get involved with that. If you happen to find a nice house on Elm Street, there's really no reason you should buy it. It's not that important. I'm sure there's other places you can go. If you want a vacation to a crystal lake, I don't care if there's crystals in the lake, stay away. These are just important things we need to tell our kids. But most importantly, when you're burning the satanic toddler in a corduroys with overalls, Oshkosh, red hair, blue eyes, freckles, make sure the people around you know you're not burning an actual toddler. Right, this is an evil demon. So when you're burning him in the dumpster, just make sure you're screaming out, "This is not a child I'm burning in a dumpster. This is just a doll. This is not real. This doll's possessed by the devil. It's not a real person. It's okay. I'm just burning some property. It's not a child. It's bad. Don't burn children, everyone. That's important to keep in mind." Working at Costco, well, really working in any kind of job, there are rules you're supposed to follow, according to my therapists and psychiatrists and psychologists and a couple other experts I have an affiliation with, let's just call it. The most recent diagnosis I got was bipolar. And they told me point blank, whatever you do not tell your employer you have bipolar. It is the most misunderstood of the mental disabilities you can possibly have. You'll be scrutinized for it, everything else. To which I responded, oh, well, they already know. I already told them like a while ago. And to be fair, it's not like I was really going to be able to hide it that well. A manager did catch me talking to a bag of peanut M&Ms for like 5 minutes the other day. It's just important. I didn't know, should I buy them? Should I leave them? I want these M&Ms, but do I need the M&Ms? Yes, George, you do need the M&Ms. Well, but do I? A manager walked past and saw that on a really, slow Sunday afternoon, 500 some odd people. I'm sure past, I'm aware of 5 minutes. It could have gone on for 15 for all I know. But the most important thing I can tell you today is that I'm very calm and cool and collected. It really doesn't matter what's going on, but especially in the really tense situations when things are really, really important that you've got to keep your cool. That's when I'm on my A game. I remember when I was pulled over by a police officer last week, and he comes up to the window and he says, do I know why he pulled you over? And just cool as a cucumber, I said, I don't know why I think you're going over. It was a couple of times a year. I was smoking pot, and I was smoking pot with some friends, but I decided to stop smoking pot because they told me that it was wrong and it was illegal, and maybe I shouldn't start smoking pot. But then I decided that I wanted to start smoking it, so I started doing it again. There was another time when I was cheating on a test, I got caught cheating on a test, but I saw another kid who was also cheating on a test, and I switched the name on my paper, his name was his paper, and he got caught and got detention, and I didn't, and I got away. But then there was another time when I was in the store and I stole an item from the store and I wanted to afford the item, but I couldn't afford the item. So that's just the way these things work out. And so when I was at home, I had the item and I felt bad about having the item, so I was showing the security guard there, and I saw the security guard there, I threw it in the item and I threw it in the cart and I ran away. But why'd you pull me over? And he didn't know. He had no idea anymore. He just went back to his car. So the moral of the story here is, if you get pulled over by a police officer, as long as you're white, just have a conniption and act like you're having a seizure or a heart attack, and he'll just go back to his car and leave you on your way. All right, everyone, my name is George Spears. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the show.